talk about ganja, about marijuana. This is where I keep mine, and I practicing it as a medicine, quoting the Rick Simpson. And I think that although I love to smoke, the smoking is actually wasting of marijuana because it works so much better in this phase. It holds you longer, far longer, very stable, very calm, very nice. You're high very long time, whole day, if you take a few times a day, and it doesn't have funny smell. So, Kruno and ganja. First thing, I'm gonna talk about the paranoia and why ganja is causing a paranoia and how that can be dealt with. And the second thing is I'm going to talk about the medical properties you already know and the spiritual properties of ganja, which leads me to another digression. But let's go first. So, what is marijuana doing? Marijuana is reprogramming human mind. These are the words of Fritz Springmeier and Fritz from their research about the Illuminati, which is the best research you can find on the internet. And the property of a plant itself is simply moving away programs and harmonizing your mind. So this is why Illuminati are forbidden to smoke it, to take it, although they are doing it but with the alcohol. I noticed that. Okay, I'm going to start with paranoia. So what is happening with paranoia is, I already showed you this picture of biofield, right, of a human mind. These are different etheric beings, these are different cracks, traumas. So ganja is pushing your soul to deal with the mind, to deal with the trauma or an issue from a different angle. It's empowering your mind. But because traumas in you are alive and intelligent and they want to stay, they're fighting back. So what is happening, you have this feeling of a fear, and this feeling is coming because when you're stoned, you can't deal with the pain, and then it's increasing. Okay, this is the thing. So it's not that marijuana is causing a paranoia. Marijuana is pushing your mind to solve the problem, but the problem is pushing back. And of course that your mind is unconscious of the problem. If you were connected to yourself, if you were a meditator, an experienced smoker, then in your mind you would be able to detect that painful problem and use ganja and meditation to go there and to see it from different angles and solve it. So when paranoia comes, don't be paranoid. Don't look at it. Don't run away from it, but look at it and use your intuition and the best of your reasoning to solve the issue. And this is how this paranoia gonna go away. Another thing is, people say that nobody ever died from marijuana. Well, this is the anecdote I heard from a guy. He was a monk back then. Brett Ironton from Auckland, New Zealand. So he told me that when he grew indica hydroponically and gave he had a friend who had schizophrenia, so he gave him this indica to smoke, which was fresh and very strong. And guy got paranoia attack, and he started to run away naked. And then he was, he ran away outside from the house to the street, and then he was hit by the car. I think that happened in the 1990s. I'm not really sure. So, these things can happen. Human mind is very fragile, especially of somebody who is a schizophrenic and who can't deal with his problems. Yeah. Second thing, healing properties of marijuana. Well, I already started with the mental healing properties, with the calming mind and pushing mind into the direction of seeing things. Another thing, yeah, this is nothing new. You guys know that I had E. coli. E. coli almost killed me. I had a superbug, right? See? And check this out. Coli, penicillin, resistant. These antibiotics, resistant, sensitive on this one. Amino acids, sensitive but resistant. Guys, so this is the beta-lactamines, resistant and sensible on one. So this is the superbug, and it's resistant on antibiotics. These superbugs killed 700,000 people in 2015. The biggest killer was E. coli I survived thanks to marijuana. It took me forever to cure it. It took me forever because this E. coli has, and this is really, guys, I'm not, stay with me. This E. coli has ability to calcify itself. So these are some footages from the internet. And it's impossible to be killed by the antibiotics because it can stay calcified months and months and months. And this is why people are put in the hospital into induced comas and treated with the antibiotics for a month or more and so on, but it's not working. I only killed it with the oil, and I was dealing with it from January 2015. It was critical in March, and then I started to take marijuana oil in March, and it was still in December 2015. It was still there. I still had the symptoms when I ran out of the oil. Pain in testicles, burnings in the urinary tract, pain, of course, big time, diarrhea, and so on. So, great thing about marijuana, it can cure impossible diseases. Another great thing about it, it is really, not in only my opinion, but simply personification of what you might call a god. So this spiritual healing property, which I was already talking about under paranoia, is even greater quality than physical healing property, which is amazing. So this is what I have to say. Another thing I have to say about marijuana is guerrilla. So don't be shy. Get yourself some seeds like these, and when you're walking around, when you're walking by some nice parks where the seeds could grow, plant seeds, and if you plant 100 of them, well, maybe 5% or 2% gonna give some fruit, and if you're not gonna collect them, some happy soul will. But if we all continue to do this, this green guerrilla, then of course we're gonna change this planet for a better far sooner than many of us might think. And this is the third thing I want to say about it. Plant it. If you don't have a safe place to plant it, then just plant it outside. It's a matter of essentially political protest against the regime, which is suppressing this magnificent medicine and a holy plant. And another thing is the imagination, which is connected with the ganja. Einstein said that imagination is more important than the knowledge. I know one thing. I was talking about the seeing things from different perspectives of a connection, and these faculties are important faculties with that plant. Is ability to see things just from a different angle, to step outside from the problem, and to see. Your imagination is the strongest tool you have, because your imagination is both a laboratory where you can play with your ideas and see how things might work, and your imagination is also the tentacle of your soul, because unconsciously speaking, when you're imagining things, when you're imagining distant parts or distant parts in time or distant people, you are touching them with the fine particles, with the fine tentacles of your soul. So, imagination itself, which is connected with marijuana, marijuana is increasing imagination and increasing creativity, itself is spiritual property, really. It's not only good for a daydreaming, and another thing regarding that, don't feel, and I know that if I'm talking to a soul people, I know that I'm talking to, yes, sensitives, but also daydreamers. Okay, so, guys, don't be guilty about your little urges to escape to fantasy world, because, well, we don't belong here and we don't want to be here. It's perfectly okay to use imagination as an escape mechanism. But another thing is that beautiful feeling of unity with other people, when people are smoking ganja in the nature, by the fire, when they're cooking together like a tribe, when they're socializing. And, this bonding and a kindness it brings is well, something what when we're analyzing it, we are neglecting it, right? But it's very important. When you compare people on alcohol, how they behave and how they feel like, compared with the people in the nature just smoking ganja and drinking some tea, eating some nice food, what a beautiful vibe it is. And that feeling of unity and a community, and if this is not a healing, if this is not a positive, if this is not a human in its purest sense, then, what is. So, in all these aspects, it's a great plant, not mentioning other usages like clothing, or making furniture out of it, or making automobile chassis out of it. It's very durable. It's light, and so story about marijuana is essentially a story about us, about our potentials, which are hindered, which are suppressed, which are manipulated and controlled. And just for the end, I'm just going to say this, that marijuana itself is divided into families, into sativas and indica. Indica is more feminine in nature. It's a smaller plant, 1 meter 20. It's coming from India. It's excellent for healing. Rick Simpson is recommending it for healing. And I smoked it in Amsterdam. It's excellent, really. It calms your mind, makes you very calm and very creative and very focused, and it's a beautiful plant. Another one is indica. It's more masculine, it's more active, and we are all smoking indicas mostly here in Southeast Asia. You can pretty much only find the sativa. Sativas are taller, they are like 3-4 meters and so on. They are bigger, they give more crop. And they are both good, but they work differently. I prefer indica, although I have no problem with sativa either. I would say that that taking marijuana oil is a luxury. It is, definitely it is a luxury, but it's also a necessity, and it's going to be a necessity for more people in the future, because antibiotics are failing, the superbugs are rising. There are currently, I think, 3 but there are more. Even like Cochigram Plus is now getting resistant on antibiotics, and I was well, okay, guys, you know what? I'm just gonna give you a few more hacks. So this is the coconut. When antibiotics failed, I started to use for cleaning my eyes. I started to use this technique. I started to clean my eyes with the coconut oil. I would normally use a clean syringe, and then I would start cleaning my eyes. And can you see anything? And coconut water can be used for giving an infusion if coconut is not compromised with this one, and it was used in the Second World War. And if you have eye infection, cleaning your eyes with the coconut can push out bacteria out and clean your eyes. 2 months I was battling with different antibiotics, and this started to help. And coconut oil is also good for the rest of your skin. If you cover yourself with it, you're going to feel reborn, really. It's a great thing. Another thing, I want to show you another little crack, is for the oral hygiene, is the peroxide. So that would normally be one drop of one full cap of the peroxide, like this. Okay, now imagine that this is peroxide. Just imagine, because I can't do everything with one arm, and then 2 drops of water. And this and a toothbrush is all what you need for the oral hygiene, because peroxide is killing bacteria. And it's working. And those 2 little hacks can help you incredibly in your life, cleaning your teeth with peroxide, because when you're using their product, you are, of course, calcifying your pineal gland with the fluoride from the toothpaste, and you don't want to do that if you want to be psychic, right? You want to open your pineal gland. You don't want to kill it with the fluoride. So this is a good way how to keep your teeth clean, because instead of peroxide will, of course, kill bacteria effectively, and it's not going to harm your mouth, and it's not going to poison you. Do not worry about that. Peroxide is, I think, 3 atoms of or 4, whatever, atoms of oxygen, and it's simply destroying the microorganisms when they meet them, and once they finish, they simply dissolve on oxygen and water. So, and then don't worry about it. Peroxide is okay. So these are little cracks, hacks of a life I wanted to share with you folks, and my thoughts on ganja. And oh yeah, just a little final thing. On ganja, you can drive a car, but you can't drive a plane. On ganja, you can work like some simple jobs. I'm an excellent teacher on a ganja. When I'm high, I don't really care if a small psychopath is smashing a chair into the head of another child. I'm not going to get upset. I'm going to react and I'm going to stop everything nice. But I'm not going to I'm not going to be upset. I'm just going to be calm, totally. Calm as cow. And effective. And so there are jobs you can do on ganja, but there are jobs you can't. For example, it's impossible to be a tour guide on a ganja because it's a complex job. There are many things you have to do as a tour guide, where to park the bus, how to organize 40 people, average age of 70, and stuff like that. And you can't do that because you need to have a fast processor. So there are jobs you can do, there are jobs you can't do on it. But generally speaking, if job is structured, if it's like a repetitive job, you don't really have too many stressful situations. You don't have to like react immediately in a split second. And then, if it's that kind of job, then you can be hired. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Take care, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending 22 minutes and 15 seconds with me. And if you like it, subscribe. Bye-bye.